All right, guys, and that was Chris Birch, and we thank you so much, Chris. Guys, check out his podcast, the SOS podcast, and I appreciate the support, Chris, and I appreciate you always listening, and I'm glad that it makes your day a little bit better, and so thank you so much. Once again, guys, if there's something you want to comment, go to the Anchor app, leave a comment, and I'll share your comments and your voice message on the next episode of the Big Dave Wrestling Review. Also, you can go there. You can donate to become a subscriber to the channel or basically a pledge member of the Big Dave Club and be a part of that club there, guys. You can do that at the Anchor app. There is very many multiple assets and sides of the Big Dave that you hear on this podcast, guys. And we're just scratching the surface on what we're going to be able to do. We're just scratching the surface on introducing new people to new sides of my personality and my talents. And once again, I know it might sound cocky, guys. You have to understand I'm a very humble person, but I do feel like there's a lot of things that I bring to the table on very many different aspects that I want to be able to share all of that stuff with you guys. And my friend Travis Blankenship, the Rural Sultan, I'd like to give him a big shout out. He's on the road right now with Coulter Wall and the boys, and he helped me get the Big Dave Club started. It's basically just a place where everyone can come and be a part of the greatness that is me, Big Dave, and all of the wonders that I bestow upon you. Once again, guys, it was a stressful week, but good news. I've got some good things coming. You guys hear that? I was able to score some really primo medical. So as I go over AEW Fight for the Fallen, I'm going to, if you don't mind, go ahead and roll this up. So guys, AEW Fight for the Fallen was in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm pretty sure it was called the Daily Center. I think that is at the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium or close to it. I don't really know. They said that, of course, what's his name? Shad Khan, Tony Khan's father. He was there, and I think they said he helped design that place. The set for the show was really cool. I liked it. I don't know how much I would have liked being there live because it looked extremely hot. It looked like they had handed out those little hand fans that they used to hand out at those old churches and stuff. People were waving the fuck out of them things, man. It didn't matter. I'll tell you right now, I went to a local show once here in Bowling Green, Kentucky. And I love going to local shows, local wrestling shows, and supporting those guys. Well, it just so happened one of my heroes was there. Don't necessarily agree with this man on all of his political things, but 9 times out of 10, I agree with him when it comes to wrestling. And one of my personal heroes, Mr. Jim Cornette, was there signing autographs and stuff like that. He actually wasn't, a part of the show per se, but, he was there for a meet and greet at the beginning. And, I got there and it was so hot in that armory that I literally got sick and had to leave before the show was even maybe 2-3 matches in. I mean, it was miserable hot. And I'm a fat man, and I basically, made up an excuse and told everybody I had to go to work. But no, I went home and put my feet up before I went to work because I had took a shower and everything. I mean, it was bad. So it looked hot there at the Daily Center. I believe that's what it's called. And but I was overall pleased with Fight for the Fallen. I thought it was a good show for what it was. There's so many people that got on, social media after this show and were saying, oh, it wasn't that good. It wasn't as good as Double or Nothing. It wasn't as good as All Out. No, but you had to pay for Double or Nothing and All Out. These were free. I mean, everybody got this for free. I got it for free. Now, I watched the replay. I don't get to watch stuff live because I have to work at the time that, this was on. But even in, with WWE pay-per-views, I don't ever start the show right at 7 o'clock. But all in all, good show. Was not disappointed with the show. But I have to give you guys a little bit of peace of my mind as I spark this up, guys. So if you'll just excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, anyone that knows me knows that I'm a pretty laid-back fella. I don't judge anyone. I believe everyone should be treated equally, no matter your, race, sexual orientation, your religious beliefs. Me and you can disagree on something and still be friends. You can live a different lifestyle and it doesn't affect me. Once again, one of my biggest mottos in life is, what you eat don't make me shit. Now, I want to go into I've said it maybe once before. I don't watch pre-shows. I do not watch the pre-show. I think pre-shows are stupid. I think pre-shows are not needed. And AEW has twice in a row now put out 2 pre-shows that I did not watch. But, negative and positive. It's like, basically, they're putting the stuff out there for people like me that don't like the silliness in wrestling. It's like they're putting that on their pre-show. First off, you're not going to draw fans like me if I have to pay for this. And this is what I see on your pre-show. Number one. Because I don't care about that. Yes, you may draw in the other clowns. Yes, you may herd in some of the other sheep. I don't fall for that mess. I don't like it. Why would I want to buy your show after seeing a man with no legs legitimately be in a match that could make him the number one, well, not even the number one, he could make him the very first AEW champion? Come on. I understand the jokes. I understand the humor. Everyone's doing it now. But guys, I'm old school to the core. It's not AEW's fault. WWE has lost ring psychology many years ago. This isn't something new. This is something that's been going on for quite a while. And AEW just has basically done what all of the indie guys have done that make this a joke. And they're just sprinkling a little bit of that into their pre-show. Now, there's going to be some troll or some mark that's going to say that my next comment is a sexist or homophobic comment. I did not watch the pre-show, but I've heard enough about what Sonny Kiss did to make me not care. When I saw Sonny Kiss the very first time, if you guys don't know, Sonny Kiss is I don't know, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, I don't know the political correctness of all this, because the LGBTQ RSTV community, they keep adding letters to it. I'm sorry, guys, I love y'all, my gay friends, I love y'all, you know I do. But y'all keep adding letters to this shit, and I don't know what's what. I don't even know what half the letters mean. I don't care about your sexuality. I care about you. Who are you? And, I've got a lot of gay friends that would even say they don't want you to judge them based on their sexuality. Just like a black man doesn't want you to judge him off his race. Just like a Muslim doesn't want you to judge him off his religion. But this Sonny Kiss is a cross-dressing gay wrestler, openly gay. And for lack of a better term, he walks around like a sissy, dresses like a sissy, wears makeup and all that. Okay, that's not a bash at anybody. That's just me saying he walks around like a sissy boy. All right, because that's just how he is. Hell of an athlete in the ring. From the things that I saw, I mean, he's got some, athletic prowess to this man. but he wears coochie cutter shorts, makeup, what looks to be a brawl, like a sports brawl type thing, and he's out there twerking, doing cartwheels, and using that into his gimmick. Motherfucker, no. That ain't what I'm looking for in my wrestling. I'm sorry. And like I said, again, there's going to be somebody comment or somebody hear this and say, oh, you're just bashing this man because of this. I don't give a shit. Please understand that. I do not give a shit about his sexual preference. What you're doing in the ring is a joke. You mean to tell me if I'm in a fight with a man and he turns around and starts twerking it, I'm sorry, I mean, that's never happened to me in a fight. I've been in a scrap or two. Never have I been in a situation where a guy backed it up and starts twerking it and doing cartwheels. In the match, while I'm fighting this man, he's doing this. See, they're getting I don't know what kind of reaction they want to get. You turn around in a fight and start twerking on me, I'm going to bop you in the back of the head. But this is what they put on their pre-show. Guys, I'm sorry. I am not a fan of this Sonny Kiss gentleman, person, girl. I'm sorry. I don't mean disrespect. I don't know what to say. So please, my ignorance. Forgive my ignorance on that. But please believe and know that my heart is sincere when I do not care about what this man's sexual orientation is. Okay? This gimmick, he's getting over. The crowd likes it. They cheer him on. And that's cool. I get it. If this had been 1995, okay, or this gimmick could not have gotten over as a babyface, as a good guy. This person would have been booed, and they would have hated this character. So anyway, you got the pre-show. I think there's a match on the pre-show again. I'm not going to watch the pre-show because if this is not worth being on your main pay-per-view show, why should I care as a consumer of your product? If I am paying $49.99 for your show, your pay-per-view, $59.99 for a pay-per-view, your pre-show shit needs to be just as quality and on the card. Why are you doing pre-show shit? WWE Network pre-show is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Stupid. Who cares? If you're watching the pre-show, WWE pre-show, 99.9% of the time, you already have the network. They've already got your money. What are they trying to sell you? There's no add-ons. There's no DLC. Why does WWE have a pre-show? And don't get me started on that. We're going to discuss that when we get into Extreme Rules. But AEW, once again, all in all, a good show. Starts out with a six-man tag. Joey Janela, Jimmy Havoc, Darby Allin versus Guerrero, MJF, and Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears, of course, the man that came in at Fyter Fest and busted Cody over the head with a chair. Shawn Spears has just come from the WWE. Sorry, right now, like I said, I did get some good medical. I can't think of what his name was in the WWE, but he was the guy that was the perfect 10. You know, gosh, I can't think of it right now. But anyway, the thing that I took out of this match was, number one, Jimmy Havoc, who I thought was just a scumbucket wrestler, has got very good talent and technical talent in the ring. And Darby Allin is over as hell with the fans. Joey Janela, I've heard a lot of people praise this kid. I've not seen much of his work. So far, you haven't impressed me yet. I'm not saying you're a bad wrestler. I'm just saying so far, I don't see you as a heavyweight champion of the world. And that's okay. Not everyone's going to be the champ. MJF, guys, is probably one of the best heels in the business right now. He really has a great grasp on this generation of fan. He has a great grasp of what the type of fans that come to the AEW events. He has a great grasp of who they are and how to interact with them and how to play that gimmick as the biggest asshole heel to the fullest. He lives and breathes that gimmick. MJF is a guy that I would like to see, if the Revival were to go to AEW, I would love to see an MJF and the Revival type of stable where these guys just come in, they are complete heels, they live the gimmick 24/7, they're no nonsense, and, MJF, if you listen to JR's podcast, he talks about MJF like he's the next big thing. And he very well could be. I also noticed that Shawn Spears, an ex-WWE guy, was really bigger than I expected him to be. It's funny when these guys from WWE come down, you notice, the size difference of these athletes. Now, Shawn Spears did get the win, and, there's a big thing. There's a little rivalry brewing there between MJF and Shawn Spears, because MJF is a big friend of, a great friend of Cody's. So, good match. I really had no problem with the match. I did see there was a part where Joey Janela fell out to the ring. If y'all did not hear, there was video of Joey Janela and Enzo Amore at a Blink-182 concert. And it said fist fight between these guys. Video taken. Nobody threw a punch. They were both scared to throw a damn punch. I will say it looked like Joey Janela backed down a little bit more than Enzo, because neither one of them knew if it was a work or a shoot, And on the Jim Cornette podcast, they watched it, and Jim Cornette is not a fan of Joey Janela, nor is he a fan of Enzo, nor is he a fan of Kenny Omega, or pretty much anyone in AEW. I know he likes MJF and he likes Cody, but he's not sold on what they're doing. And the camera goes. There's a camera work man outside, and when Joey Janela goes outside, there's this part of the match where he kind of turns and he gives the finger to the camera. He's like, "Fuck you, Cornette." And I cannot wait to hear what Jim has to say next. I wonder if he'll even mention it. Also, another thing I noticed, and please let me know if you saw this as well. It seemed, here lately in wrestling, they've been doing these apron spots. Where they're outside the ring on the apron, standing on the apron, dropping guys on their necks, their heads, just stuff that looks so dangerous, and I'm sure someone eventually is going to get really hurt. But I noticed that AEW's ring, it looked like there was more room on the apron. Now, please tell me if I'm seeing things, but it seemed like the ropes were a little bit further inside the ring, and there was a little bit more area and space on the apron, in between the ropes and the outside floor. And I think they did that because all of these new spots that people are doing, it's like all these guys now have incorporated something that they do on the apron. And every time, someone does a move to another opponent on the apron, they have to say, "Oh, that is the hardest part of the ring. There's no give on that ring." So, I see if they did that, I'm actually for it on AEW's part, because I know they're going to be doing those spots a lot more than, anyone else, I believe. You then go to the Brandy Rhodes Alley match. Brandy Rhodes wins. It was weird. It's like she came out trying to act like she was a face, and then she introduced Awesome Kong, and Awesome Kong helped her win. Brandy Rose was then going back to her heel ways at the end of the match. Of course, Brandy Rose wins. At the end of the match, Asha Kong enters. So we're going to see that feud between Awesome Kong and Asha Kong. These are two behemoth women that are great at what they do. It is a match people want to see. So eventually, I'm sure we're going to see that match. That was one of the matches I really wasn't too, interested in. Brandy Rhodes has improved in the ring, but still she needs some work. We then go to the triple threat tag match. And the winner of this gets a first round bye in the tag team tournament that they're going to be doing, I guess, weekly on TNT when they go to TNT in October on their television show. You have the Dark Order versus Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus and Evan and Jalisco. I don't really know these guys very well. I don't even know if I pronounced their names right. Dark Order is a team that very many people knew and then they forgot about, or a lot of people don't even know who they are. I did like their work in the ring. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, though, was over as hell. Both those guys are over. And Luchasaurus looks like complete WWE material right now to me. And I'm saying that with very little knowledge of his in-ring work. Guys, I don't know it all the time, and I'm not right every time. I'm not. Most of the time, I can tell when somebody's got it. And that's a mixture of everything. I have not heard this man on the mic. I do not believe this man needs to be on the mic. And Jungle Boy is over as hell. And this gimmick they have is over as hell. And if Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy was to get a WWE offer and a WWE contract, they'd probably ruin it. But when I see Luchasaurus in the ring, 6'5", probably 300 pounds, close to, if not, doing standing moonsaults, and he's just powerful and quick, and the mask, everything looks cool. I could see this guy being he could be a great heel eventually as well. But I see talent in Luchasaurus just based off, some people have that thing they call it. And I see it in him. Dark Order win the match. I enjoyed the double team maneuvers of this match. It was very high energy. The crowd was into it. Again, good match, quality content. Dark Order will get a first round bye in that tag team tournament that is coming up in October. Then we have Chris Sabin versus Hangman Page, which Hangman Page is going to be fighting it all out against Chris Jericho and will be crowning the first ever AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Everyone has raved and raved and raved about Hangman Page. I have yet to see him in a match that got me invested in him to where I wanted him to win. Please understand what I'm saying here. I'm not saying he's not talented. I'm not saying he doesn't have what everybody thinks that he has. What I'm saying is, me personally, I have not been able to become invested in Hangman Page. I've heard his story, all that stuff. He's got a hell of a story. This Kip Sabian kid, don't know anything about him. But they put on one hell of a technical match. Nothing wrong with the match. There was a little flub there at the end. It was like one of them did a rollout, and he was waiting to catch him to go into another pin, and there was miscommunications. And there was that all night between some of these teams and some of these matches. But these guys, they haven't all worked together for very long. A lot of these guys maybe have never faced each other at all. If some of them have wrestled, it may have been a whole different scene in the independent. It's been years, months, who knows. But it's not like the WWE where they're on the road working the same guy every week. You know what I'm saying? Every night. Hangman Page does get the win. This is one of those situations where it's like I knew he would win the match. But again, I was impressed with both of them. I was impressed more with Kip Sabian than I was Hangman Page, is what I'm saying. I don't know if that was done by design, but again, there's nothing that has just caught me about Hangman Page. Best part of this match to me is, all right, there's a guy in the audience, the heavier set guy with glasses, and he's in the NXT audience too at Full Sail a lot of times. And he's always right in people's face, right up in people's face. And he's talking shit to Kip Sabian, excuse me. And Sabian turns like they're nose to nose. And Sabian almost leans in like he's going to kiss him. And the guy backs up real quick. Oh, you know. That was funny to me. I thought that was great. I don't know who that guy is, man. But, bro, you need to get some of this stuff I got right now and smoke you some of it. Because shit ain't that serious, brother. Brother, it ain't that serious, man. Like, I understand getting into it and trying to be, suspend your belief. But whatever. But yeah, Dark Order, happy, pleased with them. Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, thought they were over as hell. The other two guys didn't really know much about them. That's another match. Sorry. Kip Sabian, Hangman Page. Hangman Page wins. After the victory, Jericho enters, and he's got the Creeper outfit, which is the Dark Order's goons with the mask on. And it's dead quiet almost. Like, everyone knows it's Jericho. And he, slowly pulls the mask off. Like, yeah, Jericho, we know it's you. We knew it was you as soon as we saw you in the ring with a mask on, dressed like a creeper. I mean, we knew that. Anyway, Jericho hits him with the code breaker. He also hits him with the, what's that move? The Lazarus or something. His new finisher, which I'm not 100%. The Judas effect. That's what it is. Lazarus. Yeah, the Judas effect. It's okay. It doesn't seem as impactful to me, though, as the Code Breaker or the Lion Tamer, but whatever. I guess he's thinking, he's getting older. It's a move that he can hit where he doesn't have to take a bump, maybe. I don't know. But that's what that was. But in that afterwards, man, Hangman Page did have a nice shiner on his eye, and he was bleeding. It looked real as hell, so we'll see about that maybe later on. We'll get some info on that. Next, you have SCU versus the Lucha Brothers. Crowd enjoys it. I enjoy it. Good match. Lucha Brothers win. Great spots in this match. I want to learn more about these tag teams. Now, I wanted to make a comment real quick about Jim Ross. Now, guys, I absolutely adore Jim Ross. One of the greatest commentators of all time, if not the best commentator of all time. Jim Ross, when you're watching these AEW shows, it's nice because it's almost like it feels like the old WCW Bash at the Beach at this pay-per-view because it's outside and it's hot, It feels like it has a little bit of the Attitude Era because you're hearing Jim Ross in that background. And it's such a soothing voice for us old school wrestling fans. I sometimes wonder, how serious is Jim taking this? Or should we educate Jim on some things? Because literally there's one point in the night where the bell rings and the match starts and Jim Ross is saying, well, the match hasn't started yet. I didn't hear a bell. And then someone's like, oh yeah, Jim, there was a bell. I didn't hear it. Well, no, Jim, you probably didn't hear it. Buddy, you're getting a little slower, getting a little older. Probably hearing ain't as good as it used to be. You've had health issues in the past. he is brilliant and has a great mind and one of the best voices in the business. I just hate. It's like when it's like when you see a loved one, father, grandfather, mother, grandmother, uncle, brother, anyone. When you see someone getting older and starting to slow down and not being as crisp on certain things that they used to be great at, it's kind of sad, you know. And with Jim Ross, I felt like there was points in the evening where it's kind of sad, you know. Well, this move here, I don't know what it's called. Well, man, you know, there's a name for it. I'm like you, Jim. I don't know what it is, but I guarantee you, if I was announcing AEW, I would be doing my homework, finding out what these guys use as moves. I'd make sure I know what these moves are and the names of them or whatever. That's not my job. That's his job. But Jim Ross, I've always said, being at AEW is a great asset, more for what he brings all around to the table than his commentary. The other two guys that got a commentary, I don't really, they're not even that good either. I'm not gonna lie. The dude that wears the mask, I guess they call him Excalibur, I think, or something. He sounds okay, but I just can't get over the gimmick of him wearing that mask. I could understand it if he was a wrestler, a former wrestler. Maybe he is, but I don't think he is. And anyway, but I just think we need to try to get Jim Ross a little bit closer up to speed, running up on speed on how things are going. Kenny Omega versus Shima. Good match. This was one of those matches, you know, I like Kenny Omega, and it hurts my feelings to know that like guys like Jim Cornette hate Kenny Omega. And I understand why they do. But like these are the matches that I wish Jim Cornette could see of Kenny Omega and understand he really is talented in the ring, you know. And he really does love the business. Good match. We all know Kenny Omega's going to win. There was a spot where Shima, I don't know how to say it, sorry. He jumps off of the outside where the seats were. There's like a little ledge. He puts Kenny Omega on like the ring bell table. It was like a smaller table, and he jumps off and lands on his chest with both those knees. And I thought, man, that could have broke somebody's collarbone. Kenny Omega wins. Whatever. We knew that was going to happen. Does show a good match out of both these guys, though. Good match. Jericho comes out and cuts a promo for some reason. He's talking about Jacksonville is more like Jackoffville. Page comes out bloody. He's talking, you know, attacks him, building up for that match. It is what it is. I heard someone, this could be a rumor, but I heard Jericho was supposed to cut this promo later on, or when he attacked Hangman Page, but I don't know why he would have not done that. But anyway, main event, the Brotherhood, Cody and Dustin Rhodes versus Young Bucks. It was good, a little too long. I think the crowd was tired. It was hot. But eventually the Young Bucks did pull out the victory. It was for what it was a good match. It was not the best match of the night. Sometimes I see the Young Bucks and I'm like, golly, they're so amazing. And other times I'm kind of like, this is a little predictable. But not going to shit on the match by any means. It was a great main event. There was, after the match, they come out and they do their little all get together and they talk about they raised $150,000 for victims of gun violence in the city of Jacksonville. They talked about time constraints, things like that. It was just a little bit weird how they ended the show. It's just like they was running out of time and they didn't get to fit everything in there that they wanted to. I understand they're giving that check away and everything, but it seems like they always want to come out out to the ring after the show, and I don't really like that because you guys are still, some of these guys are heels, some of these guys are faces, and we don't all have to come out after every show and congratulate ourselves for doing what we did. Still, $150,000 check for the victims of gun violence in the city of Jacksonville, Florida. That's okay. I understand why they did it in this situation, but there were time constraints and things. Something got cut. Something got cut there. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was something to do with the Young Bucks and the Brotherhood match, or if it was something to do with an announcement or what. But something got cut there. All in all, good show. I think when I can become more invested in these characters and become more invested in who they are as wrestlers and personalities, and if I can get a little storyline mixed in that I can get, again, invested into, I think I'm going to like where they're going. The biggest question I have is, what are you guys going to give us on a consistent week-to-week basis? You're still not the big time. You're still not the WWE. You're not Raw. You're not SmackDown. You're not NXT. Your wrestling is good. Your potential is great. You have not arrived yet, AEW. You still have a long way to go. You still have much to learn, and you're going to fall down more than you get up at first. But every time you get up, you're stronger, your legs are stronger, and you stand for longer, and you stand taller. I do believe they have something here. I'm worried that people's expectations, even mine included, may be a little too much for what we expect from these guys. And I just can't wait for October, man. I can't wait for that. All right, guys, once again, thank you so much. Remember, David Lindsay, the David Vaughn Lindsay Facebook page is iffy right now. So follow me on Instagram, DVL Music. Also, we have the Big Dave Club. That's on Facebook and Instagram. You can find me there. Find the actual podcast. Those sites I just gave you were personal pages. The actual podcast is on Anchor.com, Big Dave's Wrestling Review. We're on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. If you go to YouTube, please subscribe to the channel because that helps me the most. That helps me the most. If you subscribe to the channel, comment, and if you hit that notification bell, I know that you're going to know exactly when I drop things. Okay? So please do that. Also, if you can go to the Anchor app, you can support the podcast by being 99 cents a month. $1 a month can help me, guys, because I've got new programs and things like that, new apps that I'm using, and those apps are costing me money now. Okay? They're costing me a monthly fee. So I need to at least get a couple dollars revenue in here each month, you know what I'm saying, just for me to pay for the process to break even. All right? So if you guys could do that, that's great. Please share. Thank you so much. That is AEW Fight for the Fallen Big Dave Wrestling Review, guys. Check me out soon. I'm going to go right into Extreme Rules back-to-back, guys, so stick around. I'm going to have that episode up very soon. And once again, this is the Big Dave Wrestling Review. Thank you guys so much, and we're out.